Call to order. Roll call.
Nash, Jones Webb,
Present.
Bush,
Here.
Gale,
Present.
Elpap,
Present.
Borchard.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Approval of the minutes from meeting on May 3rd.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. New business. We have case here before us, number J17-0022. Request for a variance to allow an office in a R1 single-family residential district at 822 South Webster. Good evening, I am Bruce Gale, President of the Board of Appeals on Zoning. This is a regular meeting of the board. Is comprised of 6 private citizens. One happens to be playing music down at Jazz on Jefferson. And the function of the board is to provide zoning flexibility. The action of the board can be an interpretation, which involves an interpretation of the zoning code, or a variance, which is an appeal to vary from the strict application of the zoning code. The meeting is tape recorded. It is important that only one person speak at a time, and the audience observe respect for the speaker. When the appeal in which you are interested in is called, come forward to the podium. Allow the board a moment to review the material while you give your name and address to the secretary. After your presentation, anyone interested in the appeal may come forward, give his or her name and address to the secretary. Make comments brief. The board will discuss the appeal, vote, and continue to the next appeal. We need an affirmative of 2/3 of the board, 4 votes. Okay. Are you involved in the case? Okay, if you want to step up and speak.
Good evening, my name's Tim Fritsch. I own Economical Office Solutions, and what we do is we have worked for small businesses that otherwise do not have the financial wherewithal to hire full-time people for their secretarial skills, for answering the phones for them, filing papers, sending off bills, basically 1 and 2 people operations that are out there in the field every day doing their work. And what we do is we answer the phones for them, and we go and we do their billings for them. A lot of these guys were finding that it was 4 and 5 months before they were actually billing their customers, and they're figuring out why their cash flow wasn't there. So we've solved their problem by, they turn their bills into us on a regular thing. We have people that process them, and at this location I would like to have 1 secretary in the beginning with up to 2 of them, where they could answer the phone calls there for these small businesses, and then turn around, send off the bills to the people that they've done work for. And we don't have any need for foot traffic coming in there, because we pick things up from these people on a weekly basis, and then turn around and get their work done for them, and then just receive the phone calls. Right now we're currently doing this out of 2 different homes, and it's gotten to the point where our wives don't want to necessarily be part of this full time, and so we looked at the Webster Street address over there because of the fact that it's a great traffic pattern through there. There's many businesses. When you stand right on the front porch, you can look right across the street, and there's a Huntington Bank within probably 50 to 75 foot from me. Just to my right is actually Mr. Bush's office, 2 or 3 doors down. I did go and meet all the neighbors around there that answered their doors, which was probably about 90% of them one afternoon. I didn't have anybody that said that they had any problem with that. They were actually happy to see that somebody was interested in doing something. The only concern, they said, is, are you going to keep the grass cut? And I just kind of chuckled and said, yes, we will keep the grass cut and we will keep the snow shoveled around there. And that was about it. And I was very pleasantly surprised, because in the past, when I've looked at different things, there's usually always one person that has a strong opinion, regardless if it's justified or not. And in this case, it was a very positive response.
Any questions?
Is that building occupied now?
No, it is not, sir.
Okay. Do you know how long it's been vacant?
Since November 16th was the date that I saw on there. I was actually there yesterday looking, and that's when they winterized it. Now, I'm going to guess that sometime shortly before that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually just recently purchased the building, and I don't know for sure how long it's been. It's in very good shape on the inside. All it needs, in my opinion, is some paint and tear out the carpets and put some hard surface floor in there.
All right. Has it been a residence, basically, since,
I believe it
as far
was.
as you know?
As far as I know, it was a single-family, one-bedroom home.
Did, excuse me, did you get any communication from any of the
I
neighbors?
received one call, and the woman said she owned the rental next door, and said as long as he keeps the property up and there's not a lot of traffic, I don't have any problem with it. And that was the only call I received.
And that's the response that I got.
Sure.
And I don't know who it was from. It was kind of funny, because day before yesterday, I actually received a call from the gentleman that lives immediately next door that is buying his house on a land contract. And he says, Tim, he says, I knew you were in the process of getting that, but he said, I just wanted to let you know that there's a section of fence that came down on the sidewalk. I said, well, you know, I'm over here at Stan's right now getting some new locks. I'm on my way there. Thanks for the call. It'll be done in an hour. And we fixed it, and that was it.
So when you look at the house, the garage door is boarded.
Yes, and that's already been ordered from GDM Garage Doors.
Okay, and then right to the left, there's a small section of what looks like wooden slats, like a
The
fence.
neighbor
Is
that
the fence you're
owns the
talking
house
about?
next to it, the White House, put that up, and to be honest with you, that had to go up in just the last couple of weeks, because I never saw that before.
So that's not part of your property?
Not that I'm
That's-
aware of,
Oh,
no.
okay.
I think my property basically ends, you've got the garage wall, and probably whatever the normal, probably one width of cutting grass.
Oh.
But I haven't actually had to cut the grass yet there, because the bank, when they repoed it, did a pretty good job. During our purchasing, I would stop by there about once a week, and I don't know what it is about this town in general with people just chucking stuff out the windows, but you know, a McDonald's wrapper, a 7-Eleven cup or whatever, and I would just pick it up, and I had a barrel in the garage, because the back door wasn't secure until yesterday, and I just started chucking the stuff in the barrel. And then I fixed the gate going to the back there. There was something wrong with it, and I fixed it. But that's all that I've done.
You've already addressed the garage door. The comment on the fence be erected, that was made by you, Mike?
Yeah, that was made by me, just that if that was a commercial district or an RO1 district where offices were allowed, usually in the ordinance, it says that if needed, a fence needs to go up between the business and the residential area.
Okay.
And the main reason for that is if people are pulling in at night or something, that the headlights aren't going off into the neighboring property, and also for noise. But, you know, that's usually more of a commercial business.
I was gonna say, we have nobody coming or going except the employee.
No, you've got the employee actually
Yeah.
there. And I guess worst case scenario, if somebody wanted to drop off their invoices occasionally, as opposed to us picking them up, that would be it. And then the other question I had on there is I would like to find out about permission to have the appropriate size sign, whatever that may be. And when I said something to Mike about that, he gave me a smaller thing, because obviously we wouldn't want something gaudy that was gonna take away from anything. But if I just wanted something that's just said economical office solutions with all that traffic heading down there, that's just a great way for people to inquire about what kind of a business it is.
So you're not talking about like a neon sign or a
No,
light,
no,
one of
no,
those
no, no, no.
things?
I'm talking something very, very simple, in worst case scenario, provided that it's approved. If I was allowed to have some sort of a small light that would be no different than if you had, let's say, flowers or a large rock or something, and you had one of those little lights up against there. I'm not looking to do anything that's gonna cause any distractions for any neighbors. I wanna be the model neighbor.
Sign doesn't come.
The way the ordinance reads in an R1 district is you're allowed one sign not to exceed 2 square feet, and that's the name and address of the occupant. Now, if this had gone through the planning commission and it was something that required special approval, they have the right to have one identification sign not to exceed 4 square feet. So it's up to you, but the largest it should be probably is 2 by 2, or 1 by 4 square feet.
And could something like that say, for example, economical office solutions and a phone number? Provided that it's not an eyesore and it meets the criteria for the sizes?
That's up to the board.
Fits in the size.
Yeah, if it fits in the size, it seems like it'd be okay. All right, we've heard. Any questions? Any more questions?
No.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that case J170022 be approved with the fencing for the neighbor. whoever-
Now, can I ask you a question? When you say fencing for the neighbor, what does that mean? Because there's
It would
already a
be-
fence, I have a big privacy fence that surrounds, I think, is it 3 sides? And then the neighbor has a regular small fence that goes right down the side between the garage, because I'm on the corner, and the neighbor would be, if I'm looking at the residence or the office, he would be to my left of my garage.
I think it's the fencing that's appropriate for a business where it wouldn't be intruding on somebody else's function, like the lights or whatever.
Oh, absolutely, and there's not gonna be anybody around there at
Okay.
night anyways. This is basically a business from 10 in the morning until probably 4 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday.
But it is a commercial business, so it should be, follow the commercial,
Well, I understand,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Now, the way the fence ordinance works, on the property line between this house and the neighboring house to the north, there should be a fence there, a solid
And-
fence.
well, they have a fence there.
Okay, and then to the rear of the property, which would be to the east, there should be a fence.
There is, that one is a large privacy one, and then going towards, I believe it's Stevens Street, that's all the large privacy, he's all a 6 foot. And then 6 foot right coming from the building over to my garage, that's a 6 foot, and there's actually a gate going back there.
Okay. And along the street sides on Webster and on Stevens, that if, there really isn't a need for a fence, but if there was one, it would have to be limited to 4 feet
4
open
feet.
construction.
It would be limited to what?
4 feet in open construction, such as a chain link or a picket fence.
Even
with
though there's
every-
already a 6 foot privacy fence all the way around that property? That
No,
already,
no,
it's
no.
already there, the 6
I
foot
just said
privacy.
if that's what the ordinance is.
Okay.
Whatever the ordinance reads, period.
Okay,
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you. Now, how do I find out for clarification about if there's a question on the fence?
Just give me a call. I'll drive by on my way home tonight and just look at it.
Yeah, because like I said, the tall fence is on the Stevens Street side, also at the front when you're looking at it, in between the garage and the building, and then on the back of it. And then the neighbor has their nice chain link fence coming along there.
Isn't it?
And he's the one that didn't want that being a pool or whatever.
Right.
That wasn't there 2
I
weeks
make a
ago.
motion
So
to
that's not,
adjourn.
but you said that's not your property then?
Not that I'm aware of, but
Yeah.
I didn't have a stake survey done on it, and the houses are in such close proximity there. I don't know where that came from, and he's a super nice guy, so it'll be a piece of cake to figure out. All I gotta do is call him or stop by there, so.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.